Hello, and welcome to Senior Code Review Buddy. My name is Chris, and today is going to mark the start of a new project, or experiment, I'm going to try here on Senior Code Review Buddy. My main goal with these videos is to provide content that I think will help developers improve and level up. I do think there is a lot of good content out there, but I've personally found that most of the coding content seems to deal with greenfield code. You'll get to start from a blank canvas and move forward. I'm not just talking about YouTube, but developer content overall. I know that for myself, almost all of my university and high school projects and assignments worked that way. I might have had 3 or 4 projects that were handed in stages, and I personally didn't have any project that lasted more than a semester. So that's a lot of short time frame you're working with your code. But once you move out of just learning, you'll be working on projects with much longer timeframes. So you'll be dealing with existing code and having to make your code last as existing code. And that becomes much more important, and we've generally not spent nearly as much time learning that skill. It tends to be something that most people are going to have to pick up on the job. For this channel, I have found myself drawing a lot of examples from my podcast program. It's something I started years ago, and it has evolved over time, so it's been a good playground for me to find examples of making changes in code that has been around for a while. But it's not an interesting or useful project to anyone but myself. I'm still hoping to make the code public one day, but right now the list of podcasts I'm subscribed to is hard-coded into the main script, and I'd rather not share the list of podcasts I'm subscribed to. Plus, they change pretty often, and I don't think people need to be able to track how my interests have changed over time. So what I thought might be interesting to do was to start a new project from scratch. I can pick an idea that hopefully would be interesting to more people than just me. I can have the code all public from the get-go, and it'll be easy for anyone interested to look at it and see how things evolved over time. Of course, this walks right into the problem I mentioned at the beginning. This would be a greenfield project. There wouldn't be issues with legacy code. And that's true, and I think I'll just have to accept this as a short-term problem. As time passes, and hopefully I add more features and do more on this project, it'll become less greenfield, and I'll start to have some of those legacy issues, although shorter-term legacy as opposed to years or decades. Hopefully this initial starting content will still be valuable and interesting. And if you've thought of making an application to solve some personal problem or challenge you've got, or to start your new company, maybe this will help provide some guidance on how you can break things down and start in the beginning. So, what exactly is my app going to be? Before I describe my app, or at least the initial version of it, I want to talk about what this app is going to involve. And you can probably guess from the title of this episode, it's going to involve deliberate practice. For those of you that haven't heard of deliberate practice before, I'll try and provide a short explanation of it now. At a high level, it's a form of practice that focuses on very deliberate and high-effort practice sessions with the goal of efficiently improving the skills in question. One of the pioneers in the field of deliberate practice was K. Anders Ericsson, who lists the following 5 core conditions for a deliberate practice session. The task must be well defined with a clear goal and be fully understood by the participant. The participants need to be able to perform the task by themselves. The participants need to gain immediate, informative, and actionable feedback on each performance of the practice task that allow them to make appropriate adjustments to improve. The participant needs to be able to repeatedly perform the same or similar task. The practice tasks must be designated and performed in accordance with individualized instruction and guidance from a teacher. I've read quite a few books that talk about deliberate practice, and I've mentioned a few of them in the description below. One of my favorites is Peak: Secrets from the New Science of Expertise, which was written by Robert Poole and the just mentioned K. Anders Ericsson. Deliberate practice is something that I'd like to employ to improve some skills that I've been working on, with the main one in mind right now being my ability to play the piano. What I'm looking for is an app that can sort of be my tracker, guide, and memory for my deliberate practice. At a high level, I'm going to be looking for an app to do the following. Take in a list of deliberate practice activities. When prompted, tell me what deliberate practice I should do, allow me to score my performance of that activity, and show me my scores for an activity over time. Right now, I'm not too worried about what format I can enter or give this information in. In fact, I like the idea of leaving it wide open to start, as I could start with a basic command line tool. And then as I move forward, I can add more features and a better interface. I'd like to start using this as part of my practice routine as soon as possible, so I'll have a good sense of what changes I should be prioritizing to make it a more helpful and useful tool for me. I think that's a good stopping point for this first episode. We've got a sense of what problem I want to solve, and next time I'll share my initial work on figuring out how to solve the problem we've got in front of us. So, what do you think about this idea? Does this remind you of a project you've thought of coding for yourself to address an issue you have? If so, let me know in the comments. If you've enjoyed this video, please consider hitting the like button below and subscribing. If you have any other comments, code you'd like me to review, or ideas you'd like me to talk about, please leave a comment below or reach me at chris@seniorcodereviewbuddy.com. Thanks, and have a great day.